My name's Peter Segger, and with my partner Anne Evans, we have been farming this little bit of wonderful paradise in West Wales, about 3 miles from the coast of Aberaeron, organically since 1974. We were one of the first certified organic farms in Britain, and we've been doing it ever since. It's a beautiful place. It's a small farm. It's only 50 acres. We grow about 15 acres of vegetables, and we have a large amount of greenhouses. And it's a family farm. The children now, as we're getting older, come to work on the farm and work on the farmers' markets. And we have a beautiful little place with woodland and streams and wonderful environment that we nurture, and absolutely I'm in love with every day. And especially this sort of weather, to walk around at this time of the year and smell the hedgerows and the elderflower and the honeysuckle. It's like a dream. You could never imagine anything so beautiful. But here we're down on the compost site, and I suppose this is I know this is the essence of everything we do. Because if we feed the soil, that's the basic difference. I'm a soil freak. All my life is about soil, working with soil. I mean, the basic land we have here is amongst the poorest in Britain. I mean, it's grade 4 agricultural land. But we've made it work. We've grown vegetables, made a living, and we're expanding it now. But it's changed a lot. We used to be like most farmers. In the beginning, there was no organic movement, so we were here. So we thought with some other people, we'll get together and we will produce vegetables on a large scale, take them to the supermarkets, because that's where people go to shop, make them available to everybody in a quite, sort of democratic way, if you like. And to do that, we had to grow on this small area quite large volumes of very few crops. So we would grow greenhouses full of cherry tomatoes in the summertime, and fields of courgettes and maybe broccoli, maybe only 3 or 4 or 5 crops, and in very large volume. And then I was also responsible for developing the market and the supermarkets and the wholesale markets and the organic shops through my business that we set up to develop this in the early 80s. And then this went on and expanded, and as we know, organic food you can find everywhere today. But there were some things that were always concerning me, which were, how do we make our farm resilient in the long term? How do we actually have something that's economically, environmentally and socially sustainable, and in addition contributing to the culture of the community that we live in? And when we looked at ourselves, we actually weren't that sustainable. In reality, we were buying in organic chicken manure, we were buying in all our composts, we were buying in lime, I mean all the things that all farmers do, and organic farmers included. And we thought, well, it's not really very good. We were also buying in controls, biological controls to control pests and diseases. And I thought, well, if we have a economic problem in the future, can we continue to do that? And then, of course, more laterally, we got involved in the whole peak oil question and climate change, and have been for years. And then it realised, no, we're not. Yes, we don't use fertilisers, that's oil, but we're still importing a lot. So we changed everything. We relocalised all our marketing, from everything going to supermarkets or English box schemes to nothing going out of Wales. Opening our own little farm shop. It's an honesty box system that people come along and help themselves to, and people are wonderful and incredibly honest. And we do farmers market. The children have got involved. They do the farmers market. So we've relocalised, and we will continue to relocalise, so that everything from the farm is sold in our community over the next 5 years. And the basis of doing all that is what you see in front of you is compost. It's about feeding the soil. We changed some years ago, and today we have no inputs at all. We buy in nothing except seed. Nothing. There's one of the few farms in Britain that have got almost no inputs. But it rests on this compost. Basically, on your left here, you will see the beginnings of ingredients of compost. Waste. that people call waste. These are wood chips that come from our hedges in the winter. Every 7 years we trim the hedges. We don't burn them like most people. We chip them, bring them here. We have grass cuttings from local people who are cutting grass, and landscape gardeners, and they usually take it off and put it in a pile and let it rot and emit all sorts of greenhouse gases. We bring it here. We bring grass from the fields. We grow green manures to cut and bring here. We have manures from stables that people don't want. We have cardboard boxes from the local organic shop. We have Christmas trees after Christmas, any sort of biological waste that we can get. And we convert all that into what you see over there is black, dark humus. And all we're doing is two basic things. Is taking carbon from the atmosphere and putting it into the ground. Because there's more carbon in the soil in Britain than there is in the trees or the atmosphere or anywhere else. Most carbon, other than sea, oceans, is in the soil. And it's very low, and our whole priorities are to bring that much out of the atmosphere, to bring that 387 parts per million that exists today down to as near to 300 as we can get. So we have a planet for the future, otherwise we're in trouble. And this is the easiest, technologically least complicated thing to do, but it also brings biology into the soil, because the humus is just an incredible collection of bacteria and fungi, and the source of all plant food. And when you go into that compost, you think it just looks like nice soil, smell all right, but it's just teeming with billions upon billions. In your little hand of that compost, you will have billions, more bacteria than there are people on the planet. And you're feeding this into the soil to make the soil active, to continue to attract carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and to feed your plants, and more importantly, to protect them. Because what you want is diversity in nature. That for years we're all about singularity, but it's not about, it's a diversity. It's having everything you possibly can get. You want every type of bacteria, every type of fungi, and then each of these has a role in nature. Every single one. We only know about the roles of maybe 10%, but that's enough to tell us if we've got that 10%, we will protect ourselves against most diseases. The pests are controlled by the environment, the hedges, the flowers, all that, and we grow great food. And that's what we do.